Have you ever thinking of buying an electric car? Or do you know in the near future it will be cheaper than petrol or types of a diesel car? Well, we are not joking. It's a dream for all that will now come in reality. It's time to be a bit bold and contemplated buying one electric car because our future will be fully motoring future. Today, we will show you how by 2040, electric cars will take over the fossil fuel cars. So don't skip the video and please hit the subscribe button to stay tuned with our channel. Let's get started. We all know that we are in the middle of the biggest revolution in motoring since Henry Ford's first production line started turning back in 1913, and it is likely to happen much more quickly than we imagined. Actually, the real scenario is many industry observers believe we have already passed the tipping point where sales of electric vehicles will very rapidly overwhelm petrol and diesel cars. For instance, Jaguar plans to sell only electric cars from 2025. Volvo from 2030, and last week, the British sports car company Lotus said it would follow suit, selling only electric models from 2028. But this is not only just all the premium brands, even General Motors says it will make only electric vehicles by 2035. Ford says all vehicles sold in Europe will be electric by 2030, and Volkswagen said 70% of its sales will be electric by 2030. However, this isn't a fad. This isn't greenwashing. The fact is, many governments around the world are setting targets to ban the sale of petrol and diesel vehicles, which gives impetus to the process. But what makes it the end of the internal combustion engine inevitable is a technological revolution. And technological revolutions tend to happen very quickly. If we want to clear the whole thing, we have to back to the era of the beginning of the internet. Today's electric vehicle market is about where the internet was around the late 1990s or early 2000. Back then, there was a big buzz about this new thing with computers talking to each other. At that time, Amazon, Google, Yahoo was some of the companies who involved racking up eye-popping valuations. But the internet, like a successful new technologies, did not allow a linear path to world domination. It didn't gradually evolve, giving us all time to plan ahead. Its growth was explosive and disruptive, crushing existing businesses and changing the way we do almost everything. And it followed a similar pattern, known to technologists as an S-curve at that time. The market grew, price fell rapidly, and performance improved in leaps and bounds, which encouraged more and more people to log on to the internet. But finally, the slopes back towards the horizontal. The same thing we have also seen in smartphones, photography, antibiotics, engines, and printing presses, where there was an exponential growth and then a slowdown to a mature market. And now, the electric vehicles will do the same. In fact, they have a more venerable lineage than the internet. Like the first crude electric car was developed by the Scottish investor Robert Anderson in the 1830s, but it is only the last few years that the technology has been available at the kind of prices that makes it competitive. Even if we think about the risk of those electric cars, here the first electric car that comes into our mind is the Tesla Model 3, which is not dreadfully like EV1. It is supremely comfortable, it's airy, it's bright, and it will do almost 300 miles on a single charge and accelerates from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Besides, there are massive improvements in the car design, its batteries, and its charging systems, which will be controlled by the computer. But how much it will be affordable? How can we easily say that they are going to take over all of the fossil fuel cars? Exactly, the most striking change is in prices. Just a decade ago, it cost $1,000 per kilowatt hour of battery power, but now it's nudging to $100. Again, when we think about the cost of fuel and servicing, electronic vehicles need much less of that. As many electronic vehicles are already cheaper than the petrol alternative, at the same time, when we think about the energy density, it means how much power you can pack into a single battery. They are lasting longer too. And because all of these reasons, as prices continues to tumble, retail customers will follow soon. But how fast will it happen? The answer is very fast. Like the internet in the 90s, the electric car market is already growing exponentially. We can see the global sales of electric car risen by 43% in 2020, which is a total of 3.2 million, despite overall car sales slumping by a fifth during the coronavirus pandemic. though it is just 5% of total car sales, but by 2025, 20% of all new cars sold globally will be electric, and that will leap to 40% by 2030 and by 2040. Virtually every new car sold globally will be electric. Actually, the more we make something, the better we get at making it and the cheaper it gets to make. That's why personal computers, kitchen appliances, petrol or diesel cars became so affordable, and the same thing is what has been driving down the price of batteries and hence electric cars. Actually, the scenario is, as soon as electric vehicles become cost competitive with fossil fuel vehicles, the game will be up. That is what certainly. Tesla self-styled techno king Elon Musk believed that he is now emphasizing more on customers' perception so that they can easily charge their cars and cheaply. Besides, he advised everyone not to be skeptical, rather try an electric car for your own comfort zone. Moreover, most of the big car manufacturers now have a range model on offer. So it's time to take one for a test drive and be part of motoring's future. So viewers, we hope you enjoyed today's video on electric cars will take over sooner on fossil fuel cars. Please subscribe, like, share, and be always with us for the next video.